Humans first made contact with a higher alien civilization. The aliens promptly transformed Earth into a utopia. Humanity has since been freed from the troubles of disease and war. Everyone began living happily ever after. However, this was just a conspiracy by the aliens. Referred to as Supreme Leader, they halted human technological progress, and to completely destroy human civilization. The Supreme Leader started their plan beginning with pregnant women. Scientist Chris discovered, unknown from when, all newly born children possessed supernatural powers, and these children would gather regularly, raising their hands towards the sky, eyes vacant, chanting strange slogans. But by the time these issues were discovered, it was too late. The Supreme Leader suddenly announced the final moment had arrived. They pleaded with humanity not to condemn them, as they were just obeying a higher civilization. They were commanded to help humanity evolve to a higher level. For millions of years, countless planets had completed this evolution. Now it was humanity's turn. From this point on, children of humanity would no longer belong to humans. No more children would be born on Earth. The remaining adults would be the last humans on Earth. In the following time, everyone could arrange their life freely. They would no longer intervene. As soon as these words were spoken, children were swept into the spacecraft. Parents tried to stop it but were powerless. And even more despairing was, all unborn children and pregnant women also disappeared suddenly. Since then, there is no longer the sound of children's laughter on Earth. Humanity entered the countdown to the apocalypse. In despair, Chris thought of a way. He learned that the Supreme Leader regularly transported animals back to their home planet, so he had his girlfriend pack him into a vacuum bag. Disguised as an animal, he sneaked onto the alien spaceship. After 2 months of interstellar travel, he finally reached the alien home planet 10,000 light-years from Earth. Chris immediately crawled out of the vacuum bag to replenish energy, but he was discovered by the Supreme Leader. Unexpectedly, the Supreme Leader did not harm him. Instead, it explained the truth to Chris. All it did was to temporarily paralyze humanity. The real purpose was to end human civilization. From the moment Earth was born, all this had been destined. In the vast universe, there exists a top civilization named superintelligence. Even the Supreme Leader civilization was just its servant. Under the guidance of superintelligence, it came to end Earth. Chris couldn't understand why superintelligence wanted to destroy humanity. He requested to talk to superintelligence face to face. The Supreme Leader agreed, and took Chris to a place where they could communicate with superintelligence. It was a dazzling beam of light. The Supreme Leader sent Chris into it, a flash of white light, and Chris entered an unknown space. Superintelligence was in front of him. It had no physical body, but could manifest any consciousness form. For the superintelligence civilization to continue developing, it needed to seek high-dimensional life consciousness in the universe, to serve as fresh blood. But human consciousness had not yet evolved to the required dimension, so they sent the Supreme Leader to farm humanity, secretly tampering with pregnant women, making human children possess high-dimensional consciousness. But they did not die. Their consciousness just became part of superintelligence. The Supreme Leader had supervised the evolution of countless planets, but was still impressed by the spirit of humanity. In light of this, the Supreme Leader invited Chris to stay on the spaceship, to be the last human to survive. However, Chris refused. He stated his belonging was to Earth, so he decided to return to Earth. Hearing this, the Supreme Leader was also shocked, as no life form had ever made such a decision, so it agreed to his choice. Thus Chris was sent back to Earth. Now it was 85 years later on Earth. Human glory had long since ceased to exist, replaced by broken skyscrapers and overgrown weeds. Chris took out a recorder gifted by the Supreme Leader, ready to record the last moments of humanity. Suddenly, he spotted a child in a beam of light on a distant mountain, frantically absorbing all the energy on Earth. Watching the ground sink, Chris realized the end of Earth's life was imminent. He collapsed to the ground. In the last moment of Earth's destruction, he begged the Supreme Leader to leave a trace of humanity. He couldn't let human civilization just disappear into the universe. Out of respect for humanity, the Supreme Leader agreed. It downloaded a song from Chris's consciousness, accompanied by the music. Earth was torn apart by powerful energy in an instant, turning into dust and disappearing into the cosmos. In the end, the Supreme Leader left this song here, to remind passing intelligent life, that a glorious civilization once existed here.